everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel CrackZat Turning Problems into Solutions. This is a new revision video on triangles. So I'll be keeping it a little to the point, meaning that I'm not going to explain you the terms like acute angles, obtuse angles, straight angles, exterior angles, interior angles, things like that, okay? Complementary, supplementary, vertically opposite angles, alternative interior angles. If at all you think that you are not aware of these terms, then you can definitely go and Google it out. And if you are knowing this, then well and good. We'll get started with some basic formulas and then we'll move up to a very nice kind of a question which is asked in the examinations sometimes. Okay, starting with the triangles, you know that it has three angles, and for finding out the sum of the interior angles of any polygon, let's say n-sided polygon, the formula is n minus 2 multiplied with 180 degrees. So if it works for the triangles, triangle n is equals to 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1 and 1 into 180 is 180 degree. And we know that the sum of all the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Same will work for the case of any polygon. Let's say a pentagon. So 5 minus 2 would be giving me 3 and 3 into 180 would be giving me 540. That is the sum of the interior angles of a pentagon. Alright, so this is one formula to keep in mind for finding out the sum of the interior angles. So I'll just write it down, sum of interior angles. Now, if they ask you to find out the value of each interior angle in case we have a regular polygon. Now, what's a regular polygon? All the sides equal are called as regular polygon. So, one side will be equals to the same value divided by n, correct? Because of course, there are n number of sides, every side is equal, so divided by n. But the interesting thing is that the sum of the exterior angles always remains the same. So sum of exterior angles is constant for all the polygons, and that is equals to be 360 degree. Correct? So if they ask you value of one exterior angle, then for any polygon we are going to divide it by the number of sides and get the value of one exterior angle. Now we know a very important relationship that interior angles and exterior angles add up to 180 degree. So if you want to avoid this formula, since it looks like long to you, you can simply do 180 degree minus 360 by n to get the same thing you would have got from this formula. Alright, so this is some basic formulas we have been knowing. Now something important to note down over here is the different types of triangles. So we know we have equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, scalene triangle, right angle triangle. But I just want to take up one thing over here. For when it comes to right angle triangle, we know the Pythagoras theorem, okay? And if I construct a triangle, just assume that I'm making a triangle and the sides as AC, AB and BC. So the hypotenuse square is equals to the side squares, the sum of the side squares, right? The height square plus the base square. But what do you need to know here as well? Because sometimes, you know, you people are going to write an examination, MBA examination. So they will not give you direct questions like that. They just know one thing. Since I've been preparing questions for these examinations, you know, the most common thing they ask us to do is, if at all you want to make a question a little tricky for some amount of people, of course 50%, 60% of the audience, if you want to make it tricky for them, you just need to convert the same simple question into the question of a range. Okay, the moment you convert it into range, 60% of the audience will either leave the question or do it wrong. That's human psychology. I don't know why, but it actually works. So when we come to range, we need to know certain things. What is the certain thing I'm talking about? If I'm trying to find out an obtuse angle triangle, so the same case for the obtuse angle triangle will be greater than. That means AC square, that is the hypotenuse square, will be greater than the sum of the squares of the remaining two sides. This is the case of the obtuse angle triangle, and for the acute angle triangle the same thing will go as less than. So the square of the hypotenuse would actually be less than the sum of the squares of the other two sides. I don't know how many of you knew this before, but this will really help you in the range related questions. And if at all we are talking about Pythagoras theorem, why don't we remember certain Pythagoras triplets? Because these are a boon for faster calculations. No need to remember every triplet. Just remember the basic triplets and keep them in mind in form of a ratio such that अगर आपको उसका multiple आ जाए, like one very common triplet is 3:4:5, okay? That doesn't mean that अगर आपको ये सेम चीज इज गिवन एज 6:8:10 तो आप बोलोगे कि आई डोंट नो दैट दिस इज अ ट्रिपलेट. दिस इज जस्ट अ रेशियो. 3:4:5 इज द लोएस्ट फॉर्म एंड इसकी किसी भी मल्टीपल में इफ यू मल्टीप्लाई द सेम नंबर ऑन ऑल द थ्री साइड्स that will still exist as a Pythagoras triplet. So the common triplets we know is 3, 4, 5, 5, 12 and 13. Then we have 7, 24 and 25. And then we have 8, 15 and 17, I guess. Yes, 17. All right. So these are the common triplets you need to keep in your mind so that question देखते ही ना आप समझ जाओगे कि either you are going to solve on a right angle triangle or you are going to solve on something else, because that will eventually help you with a number of other tricks as well. Okay, so keep that in mind before you are actually going through the topics. Okay, now I'm going to discuss a very interesting kind of a question right now, and I want all of you to pay utmost attention to this. Okay, this is a question based on ranges, and this is a question given to you. For example, if two sides of a triangle is given to you, okay, two sides of the triangle is given to you, and the question will say, find out how many triangles are possible, okay, from this triangle. Okay, so two sides are given to you. Let's take a sharp example to help us. Okay, let's take the two angles. So this is two angles are given. Okay, and we have to find out how many triangles are possible. Okay, just writing it in short, guys. Now for this, let's say the two sides I have is 8 and 15. You will like, I can see it at the top, it's a Pythagoras triplet. No, it's not necessarily that the only 17 will be a part of this. कोई भी नंबर यहाँ पे हो सकता है, राइट? वी कैन हैव एनी नंबर एंड दिस नंबर कैन बी अ रेंज. सो लेट अस टेक इट एज x. सो थर्ड साइड हमें पता नहीं है एंड टेकिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ द रेंज ऑफ x हम ये डिटरमाइन करेंगे x क्या क्या हो सकता है. x 2 हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता, 5 हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता, 10 हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता, 17 हो सकता है, ऑफ कोर्स 15 हो सकता है या नहीं. Like this we'll be checking out. Okay, we'll be checking this out and we'll see that हर different value के लिए, हर different integer के लिए, of course not decimals, हर different integers के लिए, or we can not integers, I should say natural numbers. So हर natural number के लिए एक triangle possible होगा and we have to calculate that only कि कितने triangles possible होंगे. Now this is a simple question of range. So हम लोग range कैसे निकालेंगे? We know a very important property that the sum of two sides of a triangle should be greater than the third side. This is taught to you people in standard 4, 5. Okay. So you need to know this, that sum of two sides is always greater than the third side. Okay. So keeping this in mind, try to make two equations जिसमें आप x को use कर रहे हो. Any two equations. Let us say the first equation I take it as 8 plus x greater than 15. अगर मैं ये equation लेती हूँ तो मुझे x की upper value मिल जाएगी, और I should not say upper value, lower value मिल जाएगी, that x should be greater than 7. Okay, that means कुछ भी हो जाए हमारे पास 8, 15 के साथ दूसरा पेयर 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 और 7 भी नहीं हो सकता. We need a number more than 7. So this gives me one value. Another value, let's check from another case. Let me make a case like 8 plus 15 is greater than x. The reason I took this was to get a upper value of x, कि x कहाँ तक जाएगा. So to get that, that means 23 is greater than x, or we can also write it as x is less than 23. This is giving me the upper range, this is giving me the lower range. That means x should lie between the value of x is possible, I am just writing it in the box, is possible from 8 to 22. 23 भी पॉसिबल नहीं है, 7 भी पॉसिबल नहीं है, तो 8 to 22 कितने नंबर्स होते हैं? From 8 to 22 we have 15 different numbers, 9, 10, 11, 12, you can even count and check it. Okay, so that means for my first question कि अगर दो sides given है तो कितने triangles possible है? 15 triangles possible है. There are 15 possibilities. Okay, so this is just triangle. Okay, now I haven't mentioned कि मुझे किस तरह के triangle चाहिए, obtuse चाहिए, acute चाहिए, right angle चाहिए, right? So for that we will do it specifically. अब we know that right angle triangle तो सिर्फ एक ही number पे possible है, that is x is equals to 17. So when I have x is equals to 17, only then I will have one right angle triangle. So this is fixed, x is equals to 17 pe. So out of the 15 possibilities, this is total, please remember, this 15 possibilities is the total I have, and out of this total, one is right angle triangle, which I already know. What I need to know right now is कितने obtuse possible हैं and कितने acute possible हैं. So finding out the obtuse is really interesting because we'll again be using the Pythagoras theorem here. And if you remember at the top, I told you that in the Pythagoras theorem of if we apply the similar Pythagoras theorem in the obtuse angle triangle, then उस case में the hypotenuse square will be greater than the sum of the squares of the other two numbers. इसमें भी मुझे दो cases बनाने हैं so that I can get a range of x, a lower value and an upper value. So let's do that as well. Let me just scroll down and get the value. Okay, so the first case would be if I take 15 as the hypotenuse, because of course 8 को हम लोग hypotenuse नहीं ले सकते because it's already less than 15. So we'll take the first case as 15 square, which is greater than 8 square plus x square. And if I simplify this, I will be getting the value of 15 square as 225, and if I shift this to the other side, minus 64 is greater than x square, and this value will give me somewhere around 161 greater than x square. Now what is the closest whole square you know? 13 square is 169, right? So that's the closest square you know. तो आपको पता है कि कुछ भी हो जाए x की वैल्यू 13 तो नहीं हो सकती, and 12 square is 144, so definitely it can go above 12 but not below, not equals to 13. So this gives me the value of x as less than 13. यहाँ से मुझे ये range मिल गई. Now I'll make another case in which I would be considering x square as my hypotenuse and would be comparing 8 square plus 15 square. Why? क्योंकि मैंने पहले ही बता दिया है 8 is already less than 15, तो 8 को तो हम लोग hypotenuse ले ही नहीं सकते. Now if I simplify it further, यहाँ पे मिलता है कि x square should be greater than 225 plus 64, which would be eventually giving you 17 का square, right? So इससे मुझे ये पता चलेगा कि if I calculate this and I find it out, I would get the value which would be x greater than 17. You can calculate it yourself and check it as well. Now ये range क्या depict करती है? ये range depict करती है the number of obtuse angle triangle which can be possible, and this lies within the range of 14 to 16. This lies within the range of 14, oh not to 16, of course, I'm just taking my words back. Actually यहाँ पे both the cases if you observe, you are going to compare it with the total value. Total value हमारे पास थी 15 possibilities which were going from 8 to 22, right? But इसके according we can see that the value of x should be less than 13 for obtuse angle. This is the case of obtuse angle. So इस obtuse angle के case के लिए 8 से लेकर, try to pay attention, from 8 to 12 all the values can be obtuse because the triangle, the value of x should be less than 13. So 8 से लेके 12 तक the triangles are obtuse, and the x की value should be more than 17 again to be obtuse. Okay, so more than 17 possibility is 18 to 22. तो ये हो गई मेरी possibility for obtuse angle triangle. And how many cases does it form? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 cases from here, and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 cases from here. That means a total of 10 cases in the obtuse angle triangle. Now, just a quick revision. Total cases possible was 15. I have one right angle triangle. So and I have how many? 10 obtuse angle triangles. So that means कितने acute angle triangles बच गए मेरे पास? 15 minus, okay, just a second, I kept it like that. 15 minus 1 plus 10, that is equals to 4. 4 acute angle triangles possible है इस range में, total 15 possible है, 1 right angle possible है and 10 obtuse angle possible है. This is a lengthy question in itself and I have explained 4 different scenarios here. आपको examination में कोई एक scenario पूछा जाएगा कि how many obtuse angle are possible or how many acute angles are possible, and if at all they want to seriously strain you down, then they will ask you the difference between the number of obtuse angle possible and acute angle possible, so that आपको ये पूरी calculation करनी पड़ेगी and then you have to subtract it. Anyways, for finding out the acute angle triangle आपको ये पूरी calculations करनी ही पड़ेगी because that's the way it is done. So we actually solved a question meanwhile doing the revision, right? Okay. So thinking that this video is going long, what I'll be doing is I'll quickly now cover up some basic formulas like medians and stuff like that, okay? And the area of the triangles. So for the area of the triangles, what we need to do is for the equilateral triangle, we know that the area is fixed as under root 3 by 4 side square or a square, whatever you call it, okay? And if we know the base and the height, then the formula is half into base into height. This would give me the area. And if we know the semi perimeter, you guys know semi perimeter is a plus b plus c by 2. So if you know the semi perimeter, then you can calculate the area as s into s minus a into s minus b. This is minus, not multiplication, and S minus C. Okay, we never use this. Like it has been a rarest case I have ever used this in an examination. Okay, now some serious important tips and tricks for you people, that is related to the ratio of the given sides, okay, to the ratio of the altitude. So always remember in a particular triangle there are some sides and there are some altitudes, and the ratio of the side is always reciprocal to the ratio of the altitudes we have. So just in case you have a question where the ratio of the sides is given to you, okay, as A is to B is to C, then the ratio of the altitudes will become as reciprocal. Okay, what is the reciprocal of this? 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C. All right, and for next thing, I think what next we can cover here is the case of median. The median divides the triangle into 2 equal parts, and if we take all the 3 medians, it divides it into 6 equal parts. The intersection point of the median is called as the centroid. So here's one median, here's another median, here's another median, and this intersection point is called as the centroid, and centroid divides the median in the ratio of 2:1. This is important in many questions. One more theorem which we take up is the Apollonius theorem. Apollonius theorem is talking about the squares of the sides. Like for example, this is A, this is B, this is C, and this side is D. Then the Apollonius theorem says that the square of AB plus the square of AC, that is the square of the two sides, is actually equals to twice of the square of AD square, that is the median square, plus BD square, half of one of the other ends. Okay, that is Apollonius theorem. Sometimes directly asked, sometimes you have to indirectly use it to get the values of the other things. And meanwhile, just a small note that if at all in the question paper they don't give you any information about what kind of a triangle you are working on with, for the time being you can consider it to be equilateral triangle and start your calculation. The moment you realize that the numbers are not matching the equilateral case, then you can shift to some other side. Okay, and one important information about the angular bisectors: if there is a triangle and I know that this is the angle bisector, so the theorem related to the angular bisector says that the ratio of AB upon AC will be equals to BD upon CD. Now, where is this ABC exactly? This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So, the ratio of AB is to AC. The sides ratio is equal to the ratio of the base which gets divided by an angular bisector. Okay. And let me think. Yeah, one more thing which we need to add is similar triangles over here. Okay. So for the case of similarity, we should always keep in mind that the size may not be same for two similar triangles, but the shape needs to be same. And the best way to jump upon the similarity is to start checking the angles first. अगर आप angle पहले check करते हो, so there is a fair more chance of getting the answer quickly than checking the sides. So always try to check the angles first. If they come out to be equal, then go for the properties of similarity triangles. What is the property? Property number 1 says the corresponding sides are equal in the ratio. That means if I say that this triangle and this triangle is ABC and DEF, then in that case, the ratio of AB upon DE, that is this side and this side, is equals to the other sides, that is BC upon EF, that is upon AC DF. This ratio is same. And there is also a ratio of the areas. Okay, what is the ratio of the areas? For the ratio of the areas, we know that the area of ABC divided by the area of DEF would be equals to the square of the ratio of any of the sides. You have these three sides, right? Take any one side, let me say AB upon DE, whatever will be the ratio, square that ratio and you will get the area. And this is applicable equally to all the sides. You can go for BC and AC as well, and this will give you the same answer. So this is something which will help you in the similarities of the triangles. Okay. And I think this is more than enough for you people to revise upon the geometry calculations. So if you find this useful and important, please make sure that you like this video, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. And until I come up with the next video, please take care and thanks for watching.